Hi, in this video I will talk a little bit about why I chose the Volkswagen ID.3, which version and which cars I didn't choose and why. I just thought I would tell you a little bit about what made me choose the car I did. I chose the Volkswagen ID.3 first, Max version, in Moonstone Grey. So that was kind of a long decision-making period, if you could say that. Most of all because me and my wife, we had decided to get an EV in the next couple of years. We got married last year and then we said in the next couple of years. So 2021 was the year we thought we would buy a car. Then the COVID-19 thing happened and we started seeing that a car could be useful. And then it was decided that I would take some more education and I would have to travel 500 kilometers away to like 5 times a year in the next couple of years. And then the action to, in fact, go for a car came into place. But before that, in last winter, this winter 2020, I started researching the possible cars. The decision was limited by several things. Most of all, the price range and if the car was small enough, but not too small. Because in our house there are 4 apartments and we have a basement with parking lots. But the room for the parking lot, our parking lot, is kind of small, so we can't have a big car there. And it's kind of tricky getting the car in. You have to back up and into the place and into the space. And it's all into the wall and everything. So it's a lot of obstacles. So having a practical car, a small enough car, but that could travel a long distance or a pretty long distance was kind of essential. So I also, before I met my wife, thought and said that when EVs that go more than 200 kilometers gets cheap enough and interesting enough, I will buy an EV. I haven't had a car for the last 3 years, and that was a really mediocre Volkswagen Passat from 2001. The sad story is that's the best car I ever owned. So the upgrade would be pretty high, regardless of the car we chose. But it was a point for me to have a car that could go a pretty long distance because we may want to visit my mom, who lives 200 kilometers away in the north, and my wife's parents, who live 500 kilometers south. So a car that could only charge, you had to charge every hour. That isn't practical at all. So I went on a research round and picked out different cars that could fit. I listed and made this sheet here, which you can sort from different kind of aspects. So the max kilometers or range is here. So you can see the different numbers there. The E-up I put there as kind of the low bar for a car. the car is too small. We both agreed that we couldn't have kind of a city car, because if you want to travel a long distance, the car should be comfortable and feel safe. And on Norwegian highways, there are a lot of trucks, and you can drive a long way, and you have to have it comfortable, and you have to have a car that don't like shake when you when a truck passes you. So safety was important, but it is here as the low bar. I am sure it's a great car. I heard nothing else, but it's not that kind of car we wanted. Also, the Tesla Model 3 is here. That was put in as the other side of the range, because it's the car is too big, frankly. And when you go up, when you try to configure this car, you easily swap over 50,000 euros. For the currency, you can divide this number by 10. Then you have the euro, kind of. So you get the idea. This is all Norwegian kroner. So you can see a lot of small cars here. The Leaf is a little bit bigger. We can see, the SUVs here. They are kind of practical, but I really haven't. I'm not that. I don't care that much about the SUV look, and I feel like we're like up on stilts or something. But the interesting part is that on third place I placed the e-Niro, and on second place I placed the Kona. Both those cars have really good reviews. They have practical solutions. They can go a long distance, and but they're kind of boring, and they're kind of like a traditional car with a battery, kind of. And I'm sure they're great cars, and they are on among the 3 best cars for us because of that. But I remember seeing the launch of the Volkswagen ID.3 last year and thinking, wow, that is a good-looking car. That is some futuristic, cool car. That is a car that is like progressive, who is thinking some years ahead with the over-the-air updates and everything. The AR head-up display looked cool. It had the sunroof. And most important, when I started looking through the list, I was really happy to see that it fitted our bill really good. It's a medium-sized car. It has a really good turning radius. So it's excellent for our little parking lot, and it was enough baggage room. You could put enough baggage into the car. We are just 2 people and a cat, with no kids, so we don't really need this big family car that everybody has in Norway. So we live in a city, and we will travel into the countryside, and that was the sweet spot. I mean, sweet spot. But it was kind of expensive. I must admit, it felt like this is pushing it. So initially, I said to my wife, the Plus may be the one we should go for. I made her this long written recommendation and why we should buy and what we should focus on, what the loan would be, and so she would have a good basis to make her decision. We are both alike there. We want as much information we can before deciding on something. But to my surprise, she said, the Max. The Max is the coolest car, obviously. It has the sunroof, it has the AR head-up display, and it had the most travel or the most assist systems, which I find really, really cool after seeing all the reviews. So we went for that, and we also put the towing possibilities, or the possibility to have a bike rack. We have electric bikes we want to maybe take with us on small trips, and it would be much cheaper for us with the tax system in Norway to get those installed now than waiting, because that would be much more expensive. So after calculating a little bit and doing some numbering, we decided we should do that, and in late June we went in and signed the contract. So in September, hopefully, we will get it. October maybe, but that will be interesting. That was kind of a summary of our deciding process. I can share this sheet if you want to. There are a lot of great sites out there where you can compare cars, but this is our sheet, and it worked fine for us, so I can place it in the description if you want. I will link to some sites where you can make comparisons. Yeah, that's it. I'm really sorry for my bad English. I don't talk much English in daily life, so my tongue, it gets twisted. Hopefully you understand. Okay, that's it. See you in the next one. Thank you for tuning in.